going again, guys? Welcome back to episode of E-Train Games. I'm your host, the E-Train, and yeah, back with another video. I took a little break from making some YouTube videos. I kind of lost a little bit of interest lately, and tonight I was like, you know what? I haven't made a video in a while. I guess I'll make one. So here I am again, and I've been making a video on my top 15 Sega Genesis games. Now, a lot of these games I didn't play until later on in my life. Some of these I have played when I was younger, so I have a mixture of kind of both. And I guess we'll just get started. Okay, so now this list just is my personal favorites. People's list is going to be different than mine, obviously. So if you get mad at me because I didn't add Street Fighter or Streets of Rage or whatever, it's just because a lot of people talk about those a lot, and some of these people have no idea. So I'd rather promote them instead of what everyone else knows about. So, let's start with this list. So, for first off, it's just a game for now. I'm planning on getting the case for this soon. But for the first game, it's all in red, it's one of my favorite games, is SpiderMan Venom Maximum Carnage. Unfortunately, it's just a game. I still need to get the case for this, but I haven't really found a good price for it yet. Probably one of my more favorite games. Now, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. It's pretty close between Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Hulk, but Spider-Man has been a little bit more of a favorite because I used to watch the cartoon and stuff when I was younger. So it kind of holds dear to me. And one of my favorite villains of all time is Carnage, and they made an own game with them in it. So when I saw this in the store, I had to get it, because as soon as I saw Spider-Man, then I saw Venom, then as soon as I saw Carnage, I knew immediately I had to buy it. So there it is right here. The label is a little rough, but it's not too bad. I have seen a black version of the same game. I don't really know what the difference is, other than it's just a black cartridge. So I got the red one instead, because I like red, it's my favorite color. So, but pretty good, pretty solid game for the Genesis. I think the Super Nintendo version is actually a little better, but I prefer on the Genesis because I like the controller better than Super Nintendo. So, anyway, moving on. Coming at number 14, this does have a case, and it'll be Cyberball. Now, a lot of people I don't really see anybody talk about this game at all. So basically this bottom line is, so, it's like, Tecmo Bowl, if you ever played that, but there's a twist. The, players are not humans, they are robots. As you can tell by the cover, a little close up, they are robots. So when I first bought this, I thought this was going to be really dumb. I thought, like, this is like the stupidest thing I've probably ever seen, and it'll probably sit on my shelf, collect dust, and I'll never look at it again. Well, later on, I was thinking about playing a Genesis game, and I saw this on my shelf, and I was like, you know what? Let me give this a try. I'll just see what this is about. And actually, it's pretty good. Basically, it's just the same thing as football. There's nothing different. It's just like football. But what's really cool is that over time, when you realize that you start to lose to games a lot easier, you can actually upgrade your robots, like your lineman, your running back, quarterback, whatever, and you can actually upgrade them from the points that you earn as you play the game. You can upgrade them, and I don't know. It's just like football, kind of, but it has that robot-ish type of twist to it, so I kind of like that idea, because it's actually kind of cool. And what's really cool is that I think it's really funny, but if it's your lineman or your running back, I forget which one, but I think it's your lineman. Excuse me. If you hit somebody with them too hard, or I think you run into them or something, their head just explodes. And they just give you another lineman. So it's really funny just to like run into them and their head just pops. Literally just pops. So it's pretty funny. But overall, it's just your normal average football game, but it has like that robot-ish type of twist. And it's actually kind of addicting, considering it not being a human-ish type of football game. But I still say it's pretty good, and it's 14 on my list. So coming at number 13 is another game. I didn't get to this till way later on. I heard this from a video of another YouTuber online. I forget his name at the moment. But he was talking about this and how hard this game is and how it's really stress-inducing. And I was like, you know what? Let me take a look. And that'll be Ghouls and Ghosts on the Super Nintendo. On the Genesis. Sorry. Wow. The reason why I chose this game as 13 is because of the difficulty. If it wasn't as difficult as other games I've played, this game would be way higher on the list because I really like this game. But this game is so stress-inducing that I can't grasp the idea of beating this game. So I decided just to put it back on the shelf, forget about it. And then recently I decided to go back in again and didn't beat it, but I gotten close a few times, and it got to the point where I was just like, I can't deal with this no more. But nonetheless, it's a really good game. I love the cover art. It's probably one of more of my top favorite ones. I just love the detail on it. It looks awesome. I think actually on the cartridge it looks the same. Yeah, on the cartridge. Whoops. Looks, has the Knight Sir Arthur on the front. It looks really cool. It's like one of probably my top favorite one of all time. But, yeah, so if it wasn't as hard, it would be higher, but it sits 13 on my list. Alright, so coming at number, I think that's 12, right? Yeah, 12. So coming at number 12 on my list, now I did play this game when I was younger, and I really liked it, but I never really knew what the name of this was. I just remember what he looked like, I remember somewhat of what he does, but one day when I was on YouTube, I found out that this was the name of the game, and I couldn't believe it because that was the game that I remember, and that would be Vectorman. Now, Vectorman, for some reason, always gives me that Mega Man vibe because you jump around, you fight enemies, you shoot enemies, and you and you basically shoot enemies with your hand, and that's basically what Mega Man is, in a way. So I always saw this and I thought it was just a subversion of Mega Man, and like he almost kind of looks like him a little bit too. Maybe like the older versions of Mega Man. But nonetheless, it's a great game. I loved it. It was a great platformer. I don't really remember if it was long or not, but I do remember this being somewhat stress-inducing if you don't know where you're going, because you can get confused a little bit. But nonetheless, it's still a pretty good game. I'll show you the inside as well. I don't want to mess with this too much because it's the cardboard version, but there it is right there. I hate getting the cardboard versions of Genesis. I still understand why they did this, because they're so fragile, and I just don't like it. I need to get sleeves for these sometime, but anyway, so here we go, and yeah, so that's number 12 on my list, and that is Vectorman. Alright, sorry about that, something's going on over here. Alright, so coming at number 11. Now, I played this game probably when I was about 13, 14-ish, and I played this at my uncle's house, and he had a copy of this, and I was very curious on what this was, because I've never seen a game like this before, and never again have I ever seen a game like this before. So when I first got a job, I told myself the first time I have a chance to buy a game for Genesis, this is going to be one of my first games, and it actually was like my 5th game I bought for it, and I still have it, and I love it to this day, and it'll be Decap Attack. Such a weird game. I still don't understand why someone in the world would make such a game like this, but basically, forget exactly how it goes, but you're this guy right here, and a scientist is basically it brings you to life, I think, and you gotta, like, there's different worlds, but the worlds represent, like, different parts of the body, like the head, the body, the arm, I think there's the heart, the leg, and I think there's something else, I don't remember, but, so basically you gotta conjoin them all together, and then I think if you beat everything, I think you, like, win the game. It's something weird like that. I haven't played in so long, I'm sorry. But there's bosses, the enemies are very strange, because sometimes they'll throw, like, birds at you, and it's like, why is there a bird? And then the next thing will be, like, some crazy, like, gorilla monster type thing, and it's like, oh, okay. So, but nonetheless, still a great game. I still love it. Haven't played it as much because the last time I tried playing it, there was a problem with the cartridge for some reason, and I haven't figured it out. But for some reason, there was an issue. Like every time I get to a certain point, it would just freeze or it would just turn off and turn back on. So I haven't really figured that out yet. But until I do, I might get another copy or maybe just a quick fix inside real quick. So, but anyway, so that's number. I think that's what. I think that's 15? 10? I think this is 10. 11. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I can't count tonight. I'm tired. I need to go to bed soon. Alright, so number 10 on my list. Now, I did play this game when I was younger. Wasn't my first game, but it was close to one of the first games I ever played on the Genesis, and it'll be Altered Beast. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, number 10 on the list. Why is it so low? Well, it's because of two reasons. One, I didn't play this game till way after, meaning that... Okay, so I played it when I was younger, but I stopped playing the Genesis for so long, and I was playing, like, Dreamcast and the GameCube, so when I went back to this, I didn't really like it as much as I thought I did, so I put it lower on my list just because of that reason. And the second reason was, I didn't know there was two versions. There was an arcade in the game, and then there's the normal version. So when I did the arcade, I thought, oh, this game's too easy. Like, this is easy. Well, when I found out that's not the real game mode, and went to play the real game mode, I can't beat it. And it's very stress-inducing to me, because I can't beat it, and that's why it's also low on my list as well. But I still have fun with this game from time to time. I'll pop it in and remember some things that my uncles told me before about it, but nonetheless, great game, and so go check it out. Well, probably mostly by now, everyone's probably known about that game by now, so, unfortunately. But, you know, maybe one day they might remaster, maybe come out with a sequel, because I'd like to see it remastered. I think it'd be pretty neat. Alright, coming in, I think this is number 9. So, this is a really interesting game. So I was on YouTube, and a YouTuber was talking about games that were made by food companies, like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, stuff like that, like video games. And this one game caught my eye, and I really thought this was pretty cool. And at first I thought it was a troll, though, because I was looking at it, and I'm like, I could see maybe it is a game, but I think maybe he's playing around. Well, I went on eBay, and it turned out it was a real game. And I found a good, not a great copy, but I found an okay copy for a fairly good price for what it's worth. So, I'll show you to now. Excuse me. And it'd be Mick and Mac as the Global Gladiators. It's pretty cool. This is actually made by, I mean, it was developed by Virgin Games, but the company that made this was actually Burger King. Wow. McDonald's. It was McDonald's. They made their own game. They made a couple. They made this one. They made another Genesis game. I forget. It's like Playground something. And then they made another one on the Game Gear. But for the most part, this was the one that caught my eye. It's basically a platformer. So you play as either Mick or Mac. And the game starts out as one of the two boys. They're looking at a comic book. That's what I'm assuming. And Ronald McDonald comes by and says, oh, you guys want to be heroes? And they're like, yeah. Well, he basically shoots magic at them, and they go inside the comic book. And now you gotta fight your way all the way out of the comic book now. Pretty interesting concept, but in a way it's kind of messed up, because Ronald McDonald's like, oh, you want to go? Okay. And just sends you there. It's kind of weird, in my opinion, but nonetheless, it's pretty good. Wish it was 2-player. It's only 1 player, unfortunately. But it's pretty cool. You get a blaster, you shoot monsters, you collect stuff, and at the very end of the game, I'm not going to spoil it, but play it for yourself and you'll find out. But it's a really good game. It would be higher on my list, but it's not really... It's not long. It's decent. Let's put it this way. I played the game before once, and I probably beaten it within 8 hours. Total playtime, 8 hours. But it was stretched over multiple days, obviously. But no completion time, 8 to 12 hours. Nothing more than that. So, not too long of a game, but for how much they put into this game, it's kind of worth that. So, but Make Global Gladiators. Wow. So, like I said, not the greatest game, but for what it's worth, I mean, it's pretty decent. So, coming in number 8. Now, this one, not as high as I want it, but considering how much this was very stress-inducing as well. A lot of my games are stress-inducing. I just realized that now. But anyway, so for this one, not my favorite game. It's good, but it's not my top favorite. But that would be Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Now, the reason why this ain't high on my list, I didn't get to this game till around maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year ago. It's just that every time I tried to find a copy of this, it was very, very, very expensive, and I was just never able to get around to getting it. I think I paid like $40, I think, for this one. I'm pretty sure I think it was 40. And I like it. I like the idea with the kids and such, but what I don't like is that the game doesn't really tell you what to do. It kind of just says, oh, save this person. But I remember a lot of the levels where it was like, I didn't know where else to go, and I was lost for about 20 minutes trying to figure out where the heck I was going. So that's why it's not really as high, but I still rate it pretty good because of all the different weapons and how it's like a motion with all the zombies, and you go out and you save your neighbors, basically, from the zombies, and you get bonus points for getting more of them, and if you don't, you lose points, and it's pretty good. Like I said, it's not my most favorite on this list, but it's pretty solid. Unfortunately, they never made a sequel. There was a spiritual successor to this. I think it's called Ghoul Patrol. I think that's what it's called. And it kind of takes stuff from this game, puts in that one, so they technically call it a spiritual successor. So, but, like I said, for what it's worth, it's pretty decent. I don't like the price tag, though. That's kind of another reason why I put it a little lower. The price tag on this is pretty big. I know that I've seen copies where they'll go up to like $130. Unfortunately, this is not a complete copy. It's just the game. So that's probably another why I got this for 40 instead of like 60 or 70. So, but anyway, so that's Zombies Ate My Neighbors. All right, so now this is a great one. A lot of memories with this game. Probably, what is it, number 7, right? Yes, number 7. And, like I said, I wish it was higher, but I have a lot of games I like on the Genesis, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint which one should be in my top 5. But coming in number 7 is the best I could put it. And I think a lot of people probably might know what this is if they do deduction. But it'll be NBA Jam on the Genesis. Now, it was hard between to choose this version and the Tournament Edition. I like both. That's the problem. I like both games. But considering I played more of this version than Tournament version, I think I choose this one more. I see myself playing this more often in Tournament Edition. Not that I hate it. I don't hate it. It's just that I spent more time on this one than that one. So, to me, I feel like when I play this one, I feel like I'm putting this one on the shelf and be like, okay, forget you, see you later. You know what I'm saying? So, I'd rather play this one instead. And, I love the music. I remember lots of times listening to the music and was just sit there and listen to it, or like, go through the players and see what they have and such, and, just stuff like that. And, what's funny about this game, when I bought this, I think I got this off of eBay about 3-4 years ago. I think. Might have been. I found this on eBay for like $8. So I spent the $8 to buy it, and like a month went by. And I actually forgot about it. And a month went by, and I looked on my eBay account, and it said I still had this game sitting there. So I was like, oh my goodness, it never shipped. So I sent an email to the guy, and I said, hey, I paid for this game like a month ago, and you never shipped it. Well, he didn't answer back for like another week. And at that point, I was getting upset because I was like, oh my gosh, I wasted like $8. But then I was like, it's $8. If it was like $108, okay, then yeah, I'll be very upset. But I was like, it's $8. Okay, fine, whatever. Well, he messaged me back and said, oh, I'm so sorry. I said I was on vacation. I didn't realize I had a sale and all this stuff. And I said it was fine. And what's nice about it is that when this came in the mail, he sent me a little, like, I I guess, like, an index card, I guess. And he said on there that he's sorry again, and he actually gave me, sent me another game. I was actually over there, under there. I think he gave me, what was it? Oh boy, I actually forget what it was at the moment. It might have been Crew Ball or something. I forget. He gave me a game for free for waiting so long. So I paid $8. I got 2 games. But this is the real one I wanted. But it was nice of him just to do that for him, for me. So, but anyway, NBA Jam. Nothing to be said. Everyone knows about NBA Jam. 2-on-2 basketball. The announcer is amazing. He's funny at times. He's really cool. And one of these days, I'm gonna get around to beating Mike again in this game. So I need to beat him again with Anderson. So, all right. So moving along. Coming at number 6. Now this one is the one I played a lot when I was a kid, and I loved it. I remember this game was actually one of the first games I ever bought for Genesis. When I first bought the Genesis, I had to have been at least 10 years old, maybe 11. And there was a stack of games with this Genesis I got for, like, I think $25. It had, like, Sonic the Hedgehog, Joe Montana Football, Batman Forever, or no, Batman Returns, Columns, NBA Jam. And this game I hold dear to my heart with it, and to this day, I still play it a lot. And I actually kind of already said it, but Columns. Probably one of my favorite puzzle games. Obviously Tetris will always be my favorite. I love Tetris. I played Tetris for years. And Columns is one of those games where it's right... If I had a second slot for number 1, it would be right there. I loved Columns, and it gets pretty difficult, I have to admit. Between Tetris and this, I think this one gets difficult way quicker than Tetris. Because Tetris is just basically tetraminos, and you fit them in certain positions. This one is 3 different colored gems, and you can't switch it horizontal or vertical. It's just straight down, and whatever colors it is. Now you can change the colors around by hitting the button, and it will switch the colors, but it won't switch the direction of them. So this game got a lot harder because over time it got quicker and quicker, and you only can go down. You can go from side to side, but you can't do horizontal, you can't split them up, it has to be right in a row. So this game got difficult a lot quicker, and I find myself coming to this game more often than Tetris just because of that reason, because it gets a lot harder faster. With Tetris, it kind of gradually gets there, and by the time it gets there, you're already so tired of playing Tetris, you're just like, forget it, I'm done. This one is like, play it, after about like 5-10 minutes, it starts to get harder, and then as soon as it hits about the 15 mark, 20 minute mark maybe, then it really starts to get bored on, and then the game really starts getting difficult. That's why I said I still like Columns. Not as much Tetris, because I play Tetris a lot more, but considering difficulty-wise and how much more gameplay it is, I like Columns better. So, there it is right there, Columns. And that's a weird thing I wanted to know. There was, when I got this game, what's really weird is, excuse me, so Columns right here, the version I had, for some odd reason, the word Columns was a lot smaller, like the font was a lot smaller and the label was smaller right up here for Columns. But when I bought this game, the Columns name is a lot bigger. So I don't know if there was like a misprint or if there was like a mess up, I don't know. But I noticed that when I first got it, that the name is bigger, and on the copy that I used to have, it was a lot smaller. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I've tried looking up before on the internet, and no one really has an answer for it. So I think it's just maybe a misprint, or it was just a mistake, or who knows, it could have been anything. So we'll probably never find out. Alright, so another game I used to play as a kid. Now, knowing me, I love Mario. Nintendo, I always loved Nintendo. 64 and GameCube, I will forever love. It will be my favorite consoles. But when it came to Genesis, it was Sonic. And Sonic I was always back and forth with. I liked his games, but some of his games, not so much. But this game I actually really liked, and I don't know why, but for some reason I come to the Genesis a lot, and I always, for some odd reason, I always put this game in, like, second to last before I'm done for the day. Or sometimes first, depending. And, I just don't know why. It's just something about this game I really like. And a lot of people actually don't really like this game, because a lot of people I've read, they're like, oh, this game's bad, or this game's kind of boring, this game's too easy. I think it's fine. I really like this game for what it is, and that would be Sonic the Hedgehog or Sonic Spinball. Now this ain't part of the now this is part of the Sonic franchise, but it's not part of the trilogy and Sonic and Knuckles and what is it, 3D Blast. It ain't part of those. This is like a spin-off. This is Pinball, but with Sonic. I really don't remember the basis of the game, but what I do remember is that you're Sonic, and you're the pinball. It's Sonic, and he spins up in a ball, and you gotta flip Sonic around to unlock certain places to get the Chaos Emeralds and then defeat Eggman at the end. So it kind of has that Sonic-ish type of game, but a lot of people said they didn't like it because of the levels were somewhat... The levels were confusing, but once you figured out what you're supposed to do, the game is not really that difficult. I kind of figured out within like a couple hours like where to go and what not to do. So it's not really hard, but then again, for gamers that just start out, I can see why this could be a difficult game. So, but anyways, that's Sonic Spinball, and you know, I really miss this game. I wish they remade it or something, but who knows, maybe one day they might. Alright, so coming number 4 on my list. Now, this is going to be a shocker for a lot of people. Now, when I was younger, I was into football and basketball. And when I mean football and basketball, I mean a lot. Like, I played all the Maddens, I played, well, most of the Maddens, I played most of the NBA games, I played a lot of sports games. And to this day, I still do for the most part. But this game probably started the basketball thing with me. When I was younger, my uncles, they love sports. They did almost every sport imaginable, and my one uncle was actually really good at basketball, so he would buy basketball video games. Well, I remember being at his house, or his room, I should say, sorry. I was in his room, and he was playing this game, and I asked him, like, what this is, and he told me the name of it and the basis of it. Well, he left, and he left his stuff there. So I was able to get that game, but unfortunately, for some odd reason, the game didn't work anymore. So I had to go out and buy my own copy. But it's still the same game I remember, and it's a game I hold really dear because this game basically got me into basketball games a lot more than what I did. So I'll show it now, but that would be NBA Action 94. I adored this game for the longest time. I still say, to me, personally, this is the best basketball game. Just because of how fluid it is. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I know the graphics and the announcements, and I get that. But what this game actually is, I loved it. I loved everything about it. I mean, yeah, the shooting was stupid, and the camera angle was awful. But it was stuff you just worked around, and I worked around it, and I got to the point where I played this game so much that I got pretty good at it. And I would set it to the highest difficulty and beat the heck out of the AI because of it, because I got so good at it. And, you know, I'm still upset that the one that my uncle had didn't work. You know, I had some records in it and stuff, but, so I have another copy now, but I know a lot of people are probably like, oh my gosh, a basketball game this high on the list? I adore this game. Like, you don't understand. Like, this game changed how I looked at basketball games. Because up to that point, I play basketball, but I wasn't like, okay, start a season, do this, do that, do this. I didn't do all that. I just played a quick game, and then I was like, okay, now I'm done. This game made me play, like, hours upon hours upon hours of basketball because I loved it that much. And, yeah, so, like I said, this list is just my list, so if you don't agree with me, well, then too bad, because this game is number 4 for me. Nonetheless, like I said, it's not the greatest for announcements and everything, but for what it is, I loved it. So, and it holds a lot of memories to me, so that's also another reason why it's so high. Alright, coming in number 3. Now, this was another game that when I was younger, when I bought my own Genesis, I got it. And at that point, I didn't know this was actually a really rare game. And I was actually very surprised later on to find out this is actually a rare game. And I was like, oh my gosh, really? Well, I didn't have it, and I was like, well, I need to find it. So, I bought it on eBay a few years ago, for about, I think, 25, 27, I think. And this game goes for a lot more than that now, and if you find a good copy. But at the time, I only had the cartridge, and I didn't know any better, and I was like, oh, this is alright, and I kind of just, I think I sold it, to somebody. But I got a copy now with the case, and I love this game, and I don't know, it's just something about this game I really like that makes it special. But I'll show it to you now. It'll be Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. It's not complete, like I said. I never got a complete copy of this. I could never find a complete one. But Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, I hold this very dear. I'm not a big Mickey Mouse fan like I was when I was younger. When I was younger, I adored Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy. I loved them all. I still am a fan. Not as big as I was, but I'm still a fan of them. And this game was actually the first game I ever played with Mickey Mouse. And I remember playing for the first time, and I was like, whoa, this is really cool. I get to control Mickey Mouse? Oh, that's awesome. Oh, look, it's a castle. Oh, a witch. Oh, that's perfect. So I remember all that, and I was like, oh, this game's really cool. I was like, oh, this is really magical. This is innovative, and it was good. I really like this game. It's probably one of my better platformers wise, because Sonic kind of got ridiculous a little bit. But this is one more of the solid platformers, and I actually go as far as to say this probably started a little bit with Mario. The reason why I say it is because for some odd reason in this game, the mechanics feel a little bit like Super Mario 64 in a way, because in Super Mario 64 you have to jump into the paintings to go into the worlds. This one kind of has somewhat of that idea, because you gotta go through certain doors to go through certain worlds. Now, there's not many as Mario. Super Mario 64 has like, I think 15, maybe 20, I think at the most, with hidden stars and such. This one kind of had like 7 to 10, not as many, but they were all difficult. And I remember being up a lot at night trying to figure out how to beat this world or beat this level or whatever. And it was pretty good. I still love it to this day. I adore this game. And like I said, this game is actually still very rare, apparently. I don't know why, because it's a Mickey Mouse game. But definitely pick this up if you haven't. It's very good, and trust me, it's a game that you'll be up playing for a long time, because I remember playing it, and I think last year I decided to play it again, and I was up for like a day and a half trying to figure out how to beat it again. So, it's a good game. I really enjoy it. So, that's Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. Alright, coming down to the last two. There's another game. Now, this game... Oh, man. When I first bought my Genesis, this was a game that I didn't find until somewhat later. During that day, I went to a different store, and I was just about to leave, because I was looking for a certain game on the Genesis that I couldn't find. And that's actually my number one, and I'll show you that in a minute. But this was a game that was kind of just sitting there in the back, and I was looking at it, and I was like, you know, this game looks alright. And I was like, let me look at it. So I took a look at it, and ever since I looked at it, it was a game that I adore to this day now. And I still listen to the music whenever time it comes on my phone or on my laptop or something. I always listen to it, because every time I hear it, is the first thing I think of is when I was first into that store and I first saw it and I bought it. So, I'll show it to you now, and that'll be Kid Chameleon. I love this game so much. I played a lot of hours into this game. I still have never beaten this game fully yet, unfortunately. I've dumped a lot of hours into it, but I still haven't beaten it. But I still love it. I don't care what people say. I played a lot of hours into this game, and just the theme song was just so good back then, and I still remember the first time I threw it in and I heard the song, I was like, this is actually kind of good. And I started watching the intro, and the intro really got me into the game, and then I was like, oh, there the game starts. Okay, let's go. So, and I went to town. And to this day, I still play it. I sit down sometimes, and I literally just go ahead and play it. And I could be there for like 4 hours, not even realizing I'm still going away at it, because so much I loved it. And it's a great game. It's not hard to find. Price-wise, around $20, $30-ish, which is not bad. I actually had to buy this one because the copy that I had flunked on me, so I had to buy another one. So I found one with the case, so I bought it with the case. It is complete, which for a change is good because I don't have a lot of completed Dreamcast, wow, Genesis games. So pretty cool to find it complete. But Kid Chameleon, definitely, if you definitely find it, I highly recommend pick it up. It was amazing. Alright, now the last one. Now, for some of my friends that are probably going to be watching this, probably one of them for definite, probably already knows what my number one is. But I have played so many hours against friends, against family, against the computer, against everything. I've looked up videos upon videos on how to beat this game, how to do this game right, how to get combos better. I did so much to this game, and I still remember it. This game, probably a lot of people are going to be shocked, but I don't know why, because this is my all-time favorite game on the Genesis, that if you stuck me in a room with this, I would never stop playing it. And I'll show it to you now. That'll be Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. I can't tell you how many days of my life I have probably wasted on this game. And a lot of good days. I remember days where I was sick from school, or just days I just didn't feel like really doing anything. I would throw this game in, and my whole day would be better just because of this game. I remember to this day of facing all the different robots to go to Robotnik. I still remember all the hours of frustration of never beating this one level, and just everything. I remember playing against some of my friends and some of my family members, and I just remember all of it. And a lot of those memories are very special because it was during a time where everything was kind of rough for me at the time, and I was trying to find stuff that would make me happy. And it sucked during that time of life. It was not that great. And through this game, I found a lot of happiness, a lot of maybe frustration at times, but for the most part, it was joyful, it was colorful, it was a very innovative puzzle game. And to this day, I love this game. And it's one of those games where not many people talk about it, they just know of it, but I don't think they really gave it the time it deserves. And I've given this game plenty of time. And I grew up with it, and it's just one of those games that will probably never ever leave my collection, no matter what. And no matter how desperate I'll get, it'll never leave. But that's number one on my list, and that's Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Alright guys, well that's basically it with everything. That's my top 15 games for Genesis, and wow, I am very late. I didn't expect this video to be this long. But just give you a quick update. You know, I've like I said, to you guys a lot. I'm sorry I haven't been making videos. I kind of taken a break, like I said earlier, from everything, to catch up on work and stuff. We're moving a lot of stuff in a warehouse to another building, so I've been very busy with that. And just been time to myself, trying to wind down, relax, and not worry about anything. But, you know, I'm trying to get back into making videos as I can. I have a couple announcements. What's really cool is I subscribe to Aki Bento, which is a anime box. They come in, and I want to do some unboxings for them. I got one in the mail, but I already unboxed it, and I completely forgot to make a video, which sucks because I want to do my very first one. So this one won't be my first one, it'll be my second one, but I'll still call it my first one. I'm actually wearing the shirt right now. You can see, it looks really cool. I really like it. I think it's really cool. So I got that shirt, and I got a bunch of other stuff. And the other thing is, I subscribed to Video Game Monthly again. I did that a few years ago, and I stopped because I had money problems and catch up on bills and such. But I subscribed back to them again, and I don't know when the box is going to show up. I paid for it and everything, but it didn't take out of my account for some odd reason. So I gotta find out what's going on with that. But nonetheless, guys, you know, so I got some things coming up for you guys to see and stuff, so that'll be pretty fun. to see what I get and whatnot. But anyway, guys, you know, if you like my video, like, comment, subscribe. You know, any comments, leave down below. Maybe tell me your favorite games on Genesis. And I don't know what else I'm gonna make on. I was thinking about making a Dreamcast, like my favorite games, but considering my library isn't that great, it's only like, maybe 30 games at the most. I don't know. So, I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.